One more time.
Hi, I'm Mariah Hillis.
And I'm Brenda Baker.
I'm the disability consultant for Grosvenor Park United Church.
And I'm on the renovation team, and I'm a founding director of Kids of Note.
Thank you for joining us today. We're so glad to have you with us.
We're going to talk about the renovations here in Grosvenor Sanctuary and why our main focus has been accessibility.
And we're going to introduce you to some of our congregants and community members, and they're going to tell you why accessibility is so important to them.
And we'll guide you through some of the theological and community impacts of the changes that we'll be making. Well, Grosvenor Park United has been talking about making changes to the sanctuary for quite a number of years now. But it wasn't until we recognized the problems we have around accessibility that it all really came together for us, that this is a passion project now, that we really want to make a statement with this renovation, and that statement is, we are truly open to all.
Okay, well, personally, I'm actually very excited about the fact that you guys are removing the pews. As a person with a disability and has used different mobility aids, maneuvering around in and around pews with mobility aids is very, very difficult. If you're in a chair, you're kind of relegated to the back of the space or off to the side. You can't sit in the middle, and if you're sitting off to the side, you feel like you're taking up space because you're not designed to be there, and you know it, and it's very annoying if nothing else. And if you're sitting way at the back, you can't see and you can't hear, and you feel a little excluded. So now that you're taking out the pews, someone in a chair, at least, can sit wherever they want. They can sit right in the front row in the center of everything. It'll be great. And as someone who uses a leg brace, your leg braces won't get caught on stuff. It's very annoying. It's a bit of a hazard. And that's one of my personal highlights.
The old pews, when I wore braces, they would catch on the pew and almost topple me over.
They're also installing a lift. That way people who can't do stairs for whatever reason can get up on this part, the upper stage part, which is great. That way someone who's either performing in a choir or the different things that perform here, or if you're taking part in worship service, you don't have to do it from the floor. So then people can actually see you and you feel like you're taking part in it.
The other part of that is leadership. That I believe that we are all created in the image of God. And so that includes leadership. And so it's important that if we are all created in the image of God, that the metaphors we use to describe God also reflect each and every one of us. So to have a lift that brings people to the leadership level, so that otherwise people can't see you in this sanctuary. If you're down below and short like I am, people can barely see you. And I think it's really important that leadership reflect all of us in this community.
Grosvenor really encourages everybody and anybody to be in worship leadership. But if one has to struggle to get to this space, then it's a barrier. It's still a barrier because the time taken, the struggle, the help they need, the conspicuousness of it is a barrier. So if it is more accessible physically, then it will just seem so natural for people who may have mobility issues to be in this what now is an upper space and not particularly accessible.
I'm excited about it. I would really like for anybody to be able to access this higher level of space at the front of the church as a performer or a worship leader or somebody who's able to do dance and physical movement and to be higher up so that you can be seen and heard by everybody in the room. I'm excited for the possibility of chairs that can be moved all around to create different configurations, and so we can sometimes sit in a circle or make a big open space to have a different type of activity in here. And I'm looking forward to seeing new ways that we can use this space.
The bathroom up here. I really think that having a high toilet, higher than normal, is going to be just wonderful. And the cupboards, for those people that want to help us in the kitchenette, they can just roll under if they're in a wheelchair or on their walker and sit on their walker. They can just sit there and be high enough to work. If I need to bring my walker, like I do in the wintertime, and I want to help in the kitchen, I can. Yeah, and having the cupboards lower, or that for my bread maker that I have here, as I make bread for communion, because as I get less mobile, my shoulders too are involved, and so then it's harder to pick it out. So yeah, the kitchen's going to be such a great addition to our church, and because these stairs are going to be wider. I love that.
Any one thing could make the most impact to one person. And the whole package of things that are being enhanced here will make a big impact for, I hope, our whole community.
I think our theology has to change, and the way we understand God has to change. We understand that any image we use to describe God is a metaphor. It's a way that we describe God. So there's a writer named Nancy Iceland who wrote a book called The Disabled God. And in this book, the metaphor she uses is the image of God using a sip and puff wheelchair, and saying that if we are all created in God's image, we have to have a multiplicity of images.
Faith and our core beliefs, which are part of our faith, play such a role in that the architecture of a building shows people what our core beliefs are. And already externally here, we've got the rainbow steps and the rainbow on our sign. And it is such a visual marker to the community of what we believe in here. By doing this project, we're then extending it inside the building to show that we believe everyone should be able to participate.
Yeah, if we're looking at accessibility issues here at Grosvenor Park United Church, I think it's important to make it as welcoming and free of barriers as possible. And accessibility or mobility barriers would be very near the top of the list, to be able to have people of all levels of mobility be able to access Grosvenor Park United Church. So yeah, I think it's really, really important.
Well, when we moved here in 1975, my family, we decided to come to Grosvenor Park Church, and so we're church members.
I like it a lot, and I'm glad to be here, and I like being in a special class because she's special to me.
Oh, okay.
And I love her so much.
I thought you were going to say cookie time.
And I like the treats.
The treats, right.
And having fun.
Yeah. And accessibility means we're all part of it, and we're all included. And if some people aren't included, it's not nearly as much fun. It gives people a chance to participate as fully as they can, and they're not blocked by the way the building is built, or that they can't hear, they can't see, but so we try to make it so everyone can participate as much as they possibly can.
You got to do it.
My dad experienced increasing mobility challenges as he grew older, and I saw how difficult that can be, even just having to walk a short distance or to navigate stairs or bumps in flooring surfaces. And for my mom, her challenges are more to do with hearing and starting to be some challenges with seeing. And so I know about those things a little bit, and I see how much easier we can make things if we just are a little bit more thoughtful and attentive to what would make it easier for people to use a space and to attend a concert or an arts event or a worship service or a social gathering. All of those things where we want everyone to feel like they belong.
Another thing people don't know if they don't follow disability issues, the disability community, a lot of people don't know that there's actually a movement around the world in different countries to provide arts programming in a more meaningful and professional way for people who have disabilities. So just as an example, Australia has a phenomenal program of professional level arts in all genres for people who have intellectual disabilities and physical disabilities. And it's happening in little pockets. I mean, Kids of Note would be an example of that. I think we need to make sure that our spaces for performance are welcoming of programs that are meant to be integrated, people with and without disabilities coming together to perform. You can't do that if you can't get people on the stage. So to me, that's another aspect of why it's important to ensure that we have performance spaces that people can actually access. Because this church has many fantastic aspects to it. I think as a church, it's our responsibility to set an example in the community of how you really truly look after everyone. And this is a statement by this church saying that we think it's really important to treat people who have disabilities with as much equity as possible.
I've been a member at Grosvenor Park United Church for about 8 years now. So as a member of a diverse church, it's very important to me that it's accessible to all different types of people. Our church is building a great accessible stage, wider steps and more railings, so it'll be easier for people to get up and everyone to fit on the stage during performances. These renovations sure are going to be expensive. I think they're quite impressive.
So here at Grosvenor, there's only about 100 households that keep this church going right now. And it's a huge financial risk for us to decide to go ahead with this renovation. And why would we do that? I think the reason is that that's what we're called to do right now. I think for most of us, it feels like the right time that, and certainly all the different elements of what it takes for this renovation to happen seem to be falling into place. I won't say easily, but certainly it's all come together. Like within a few weeks from our own congregation, we raised over $100,000 in pledges. We got a couple of grants. We're finding pockets of money here and there. we were able to access the loan that we needed and so forth. And I guess I just feel that our mission, our desire to make this a more accessible place where all are welcome is really speaking to people. And I hope people in the community will hear that call as well to help out, because our church is available for all kinds of things besides just worship services.
Accessibility is, well, that word could mean a lot of things, but to me, in the church, it means that people can get in and out easily. People are welcomed easily. People with different problems are accepted readily. And when I say problems, I mean differences in health. I just feel that it's important that we be welcoming for the sake of being welcoming, and just show each other that we love each other, and that we can exist together without fear of being judged. And we're often, as a human race, we're often far too quick to judge according to the way a person looks, and sometimes according to the way a person thinks. It's going to be a very important message to the whole community to let everyone know this is what is possible, and let's see if we can make those changes in other places.
I like being a part of this church because I feel a real connection. I feel like a family here. Well, like I say, I like the people in general. To me, color, race, religion, that doesn't matter to me. That's the furthest thing from my mind. As long as I feel included, that is what is important to me. It's not what's on the outside that counts, it's what's on the inside that counts. A human being is a human being. Yeah, like I say, with disabilities, it doesn't matter. You can be in a wheelchair, but you are still included because you are a child of God.
I think we've tried really hard to nurture a community of glorious diversity and imperfection, and hopefully one that calls us to accept each other where we are, because we're totally at different places at different times, and we need to respect each other.
I think accessibility means respect. It means that you think highly enough of a person's humanity that you would do what you know is possible to do to make them feel at home, make them feel welcome in your space. And that you would do that in such a way that a person would feel autonomy, that they would feel they are an individual who does not always need to be helped to just live their life, that you set things up so that it's possible for them to move through the world as an autonomous adult, feeling that they're respected.
If a place is designed to be accessible, that way someone who has a physical disability can get around a space, you don't feel like a nuisance. You don't feel like you need help just to get around, just to get in the building, to get to the bathroom, to get up on the stage. So you don't need to be lifted on or have doors open for you. That way you could just you feel like you're a better part of the community if you can have that independence.
Independence makes us feel stronger. Independence gives us confidence.
All of these changes, I hope, are saying to people who have any kind of challenges in that way, that we see you, we hear you, we respect you, and we want to make you feel as comfortable as possible when you come to our church, either for a worship service or if you come to an event here, because we do hold a number of events in this space.
There are so many meanings and levels to accessibility. As I said before, there is the physical accessibility, there's the mental accessibility, there's emotional accessibility, there's psychological accessibility. And really, all we can do is try to be the welcoming church we want to be in the name of God. To be God's people and to understand that God who loves and calls us all beloved is the God we try to follow. We try to emulate. We try to create little pockets of spaces where we can create community for each other in places that otherwise we would never know each other if it weren't for church. We wouldn't come across each other. We wouldn't be challenged by each other. So I think that accessibility means we try our hardest not just to not stop people from coming in, but to actively encourage people to bring down all the different kinds of barriers that might stop people from wanting to engage and ask questions and explore and say, oh, that's crap, because that's okay.
Thank you for spending time with us today and learning about Grosvenor Park's mission and vision, and how our renovation project will make a difference to so many people in the community.
In words taken from our statement of faith, our Christian faith is an ongoing journey. We pray for God's Spirit to renew and guide us as we listen and learn from one another. These words are especially relevant as we embark on this journey of renewal, listening and learning from one another, including those who've been marginalized for far too long.
We hope you will join us on our journey by liking our Facebook page and following our Instagram account to keep up to date with the progress of our renovations. You can also go to our website to find out more about our church and to sign up for our newsletter, The Leaflet.
If you're already part of the Grosvenor family, we look forward to seeing you at our next service. And if you're a visitor, we welcome you to join us in worship. Please visit our website to get the most current information about where and when we'll be meeting.
We hope you have enjoyed your time with us today, learning about the upcoming changes to our space and meeting some of the members of our community.
Thanks for spending time with us.